Is it? I don't know what there's much to say about that one. I
Well, you
mean,
say exactly what you did. You sent us a video talking about women and their preferences towards penis size, dick
yeah,
size.
there was a
Wait,
it was a
hold on, just
segment
a second. Penis, dick, cock. Where you guys fall? Dick? I feel like dick.
on like which we
What do you
prefer
use,
like
like in your everyday life?
On my chin?
No, I'm saying like if you're talking about your penis, or if you're
Oh,
or if you're
I'm
sexually
gonna go
engaged,
with dick.
probably
Dick.
dick.
Yeah,
even
dick, then cock,
sex
then
too, right?
penis.
Dick and
I don't know.
cock. Cock is
Cock
like rough,
is too
too
uh
on the nose, too on the
It's
tip.
like
arbitrarily
I'm gonna put
it's
this
too
cock in you.
yeah, it's too arbitrarily like pornish.
It doesn't sound good.
But I think actually
Arbitrarily
if you like dick,
pornish.
I actually think I
Everybody
might say
uses dick.
penis. I think actually nah, it's still yeah, probably dick, penis. And
Uh,
yeah.
I just like in that video that they're making a distinction. In the beginning, they made a distinction between like liking, just like talking generally about liking big dicks, and then like fucking liking to fuck big dicks. They're like, tell it how it is. And they're like, yeah, I like fucking big dicks. And I was like, okay.
But it was like but did you find it refreshing like hearing like women like I guess comfortably like casually talk about that in that way? That's what kind of was
I
interesting to
don't love
me.
their style. I don't love their style because you can't about a third to a fourth of it. You can't understand what they're saying because everybody's talking over everybody.
but that's not
But
just those women. That's like that entire production. And I really hate those videos because like it's just annoying and they don't stay on topic. Like the topic of like your preference in size in a man, like they talked about that for like 36 seconds, and then they just
And then
kept
they and then
away.
they well that's how, I guess that's how conversation goes, and that's also what happens when you don't have a moderator to keep
Yeah,
on point.
I
right.
thought that
Yeah,
one woman is supposed to be the moderator.
the one with the
I
like
don't.
the orange hair.
Yeah, I don't know what her name
Nah, I
That
is.
think
thing had
she's
no structure whatsoever. Let me
nah.
tell
She
you
was
what
a,
it was.
but I mean they kind of stayed. It was like
It,
somewhat
it
still
was
related. It was
it was
about like
within the realm, yeah,
yeah,
but it wasn't like. But like when you sent that and I read the title, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna find out definitively what these women think.
Mm-hmm.
but they
About
did.
size.
They did. But
No,
like
I
after
think you
you
found out
say
like one person. What one
but
person
after you
said.
say yes no, like after you say person says I like looking at it but I don't like sleeping with it, then like
Right.
that's a 10-second video.
But at the
I mean,
end, but like at the end of the woman all the way to the far left had this like whole story about like being at breakfast with her BF, or
totally
no, it was
different
her husband.
topic. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
Yeah,
her husband. Yeah.
and he
Like
kept going
freaking
to the
turns to
bathroom, and
having
I was like,
not
I
sex.
don't
liking
know
to be
what you
tricked.
mean. What is that? What does that have? I don't understand. How does that? What does
He
that
was
even
totally
mean?
off topic, Mike. That you're
Yeah, I don't see how that connects. The woman that was also that woman that was like, oh, I have him giving me conolingus 3-4 times before we have sex. What? How does that have to do anything with dick
That's what I'm
size?
saying. They already answered the question about do they like it and does it matter to them, and then they moved on to like about I guess the idea of like will they have
So you're
sex with
saying they
someone on the first
baited
date.
me with the does size matter title?
well no that's also part of it because
That
that's
was
like
the
a
prompt. That was the prompts that they were given, but they
that
were
was yeah that was the attention grabber because it's like oh that's always a I don't know I guess a salacious attention
ooh,
grabbing topic
salacious.
and so yeah
Hmm.
so I guess that's what they were doing but then they moved on because the answer is like 30 seconds and then what else do you talk about you're gonna do a 30-second video like you're gonna spend all that production for like 30 seconds yes no maybe depends like
And they also mentioned the term boyfriend dick. Is that what it was?
Yes,
About
yes,
how
yes.
like
The
if it's
specific
small or
classification
no,
of beta fish.
she the minimum boyfriend dick size was 7.5, and she was like but you spend time with it, and you can tell he really loves you, and he fucks you right, like something like that. I was like, wow, this one has a lot of expectations.
So
Like,
for those of you who haven't seen the video, so they're talking about size and everything, and this one lady says that, and I think Kamal alluded to this. She likes the visual aesthetic
Oh yeah.
large penis. Like that's what she wants to see that, and she likes it. But as far as someone she's in a relationship with, like too big isn't like good for her. And what she describes as boyfriend dick is someone around 7.5 inches that is smaller than what she considers a big dick, I guess. And that's what she's looking for. That's like more comfortable for her. That she's it's better because she loves him and he loves her, and like that's what's more important. That would be boyfriend dick. But the visual aesthetic of the big all want or what they all like.
We need
The
to
saggier the balls, the bigger the
oh
dick.
yeah,
That's what they said.
some of some of the scientific analysis going on here is impressive. They're like,
I don't care about the saggy balls. They don't do nothing for me.
Right.
I was
and
like,
then one of
you're
them
right.
was like, no. When it slaps on the clit, that's pretty good.
Yes. I was like, yo, that's big ass balls.
Oh man, yeah.
Have
I
we
think
talked enough about this now, or-
we need to bring like Geraldine back for like these conversations.
Yeah.
For like
Yeah, that would be. I want to be on that show.
I do.
I want to be like the white guy just sitting there, like,
right, like,
really? You make him eat it? You make him eat you out 3 to 4 times before you even like think about sex?
First thing, that's mad. I don't approve of that.
I thought it was a little manipulative. Like,
yeah, it was really like, I was like, wait, so we don't believe in equality and fairness. You're just gonna be like, I don't know.
Or it sounded like she would like lead him on, and I'd be like, okay, like,
yeah.
I mean, and Kamal's gonna say that I'm like soft or whatever, but like I feel men play
get the violin.
Like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, obviously, I don't think it's okay. Like, I don't think that there should be these games of like, oh, I'm gonna make him eat me out 3 times, but because like, who are we? Like, do you want to do this or not? Like, we don't need any of this. But let's not pretend like men are like playing their own mind games and like, oh
yeah,
how quickly can I have sex and like how quickly can I get her to do X, Y, and Z? So like,
but that's the whole point, though.
Like
we have to do. But that's the point. Men have to do that because
men don't have to be predatorial.
No, not predatorial. But the whole point, back to like a constant theme is saying, men have to convince women to have sex with them.
Yeah, yes,
that's so.
But convincing someone to have sex is different from saying, how quickly can I get her to have sex with me?
I don't know if they have to convince them. That was one of the cruxes of their discussion was, whether he could play the pussy flute, basically, was what they were saying. Like, can he like convince
it? And that's to their point. Like,
knew before, some of them, like they knew going in.
They know the game.
Yeah. Some of them, they were saying that they know, like they know whether they're attracted to the person
and whether they're gonna have sex with them or not. But
you still have to pursue them. You still have to pursue them like, and not fuck it up.
It over, like her husband.
But that's
like,
why
what did she say?
The she's gonna make them eat me out 3 times because that's her counter move to him trying to have sex. That's why I was saying, like, you can't say it's manipulative because it's happening because like there's one action and she's reacting to the other one. Like, it's a counter. Like,
I just mean it's manipulative if your intentions are not like the same as that. Like, but that's almost like a defense mechanism. Against predatorial men.
I think a good follow up to that would be like, so in this like 3 times eating out before you does that like, do you like reciprocate or?
I would have that question as well. Like,
do you reciprocate or do you like literally like you like? I think what's the term for that? Because if not, I think
breaking him mentally.
I think they call that a head thief.
Maybe
I don't understand.
That seems accurate.
I heard that recently, so I was.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but like the foundation that is resting upon is the idea that giving head or whatever in both circumstances is less committal than sex. Is that is that something that we?
It depends. I think it depends. I think also for some people it's that like the idea that like men can be like can rush into like like penetrative intercourse and don't like engage in
Oral sex.
oral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
That's why that's her power play, because penetrative sex is more like this is what the guy wants, and she's saying no, you're going to service me
Yeah.
in that way.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know if I would fully sign on to that. I would say in certain
But
situations, like the oral sex is almost more personal and more like
And that's why
it,
you're in a long-term committed relationship, Michael.
it can be, but it all depends on the person and how they feel about it, right?
like I would almost I'm gonna probably get canceled for this, but like I would have almost like I would have sex with somebody before I give them oral. Like it's that's more of a like
It all
Mhm.
depends. For some people, yeah, for some people, the like those like oral sex and stuff like that, or I would say probably they feel it's more intimate. But then
intimate, yeah.
for others, they feel like it's something that like people may run away from because like they don't want to reciprocate or be like,
Because
yeah,
at the
like
end of the day, a man's goal is not to perform oral sex. A man's goal is to get the pussy,
Mm.
right? So like that's
Not
possibly.
to not to foreshadow, but that is a great topic of conversation in The
right.
Sopranos.
Wait,
Okay,
but also speaking of getting the pussy, um,
right. A lot of
Wow.
people have been getting pussy lately
Yeah.
in the form of a cat. I was gonna try to make that transition earlier. I was gonna say like enough, like we've been talking about dick. Now let's talk about pussy.
I think that's yeah, I think that's grand.
That's so weird.
I just I have recently spent the last few weeks with a pussy, with a cat.
all right,
And
we're going to,
I get joy out of having I'm not allowed to have a pet, so I have to live vicariously through somebody else who has a pet. And I don't know, like I don't know when it became I don't know like to Kamal's point, I don't know if it when it became like popular. I think it was always popular. Everybody's always loved pets. And then we have like the blow up on social media. But
Mhm.
like to me, like having a pet almost helps me emotionally because they're annoying as hell. The cat woke me up at like 6 a.m., 5 a.m. to get fed. But like it's just it's to me like if you have that connection, it's so nice and they're just so cute and they like, oh look at him, he's on his kitty condo. Like it's just so like I
yeah.
love it. I love it.
So the general basis of this was I brought up to the guys that I felt in recent years it seemed to be this new phenomena of like more people having pets and like especially I guess I would say especially like single people or just people maybe I would say maybe particularly millennials having cats
Yeah,
and pets.
I was gonna tie it to couples or single people using it as a like not a replacement, but like a stand-in for children as
Maybe
like a
Or
that
young
pets
people
in
stand.
general.
so that's yeah so that's the question I'm wondering so I'm wondering is this like you were saying people have pets people love pets is this something that has it's just always been this way and we're like it's just a thing that people especially people I guess our age or maybe younger and stuff like that have always had pets and it's become more um visual it's become more apparent because of social media and people sharing their personal lives and stuff about themselves now we're part of that or is it a part of maybe um in terms of the new dynamics and like the new custom shift when it comes to relationships and millennials
I think people
becoming
have always had cats. So a
Yeah.
part of it is like
yeah
the internet, but well, I mean, obviously people have always had cats. But I think the stigma of cats has changed, in particular towards men. Because like even for me growing up, I
oh
always
yeah
thought
I've
of
noticed that
cats.
too
I always thought of cats as feminine animals, and like they're
yeah
tied to witches, and like
and the
this
crazy
old
cat
old
lady
cat lady.
Witches.
Right? No, but like I watched a lot of Charmed growing up. So you know my little Wiccan background is there. But like the crazy old cat lady, like Kamal was saying. So like for me, I always was a dog person because I just thought like kind of cats were for girls, and that they were girls. like all cats. I wish all dogs were boys, but that's another story. But so
All
like
dogs are boys.
so, and then a part of it is
The
like
New York educational system
there we go.
at work.
All day. But like with like the YouTube and everything and the whole cat meme like blowing up, like I think everyone just started loving cats more publicly. And then it kind of like that stigma of cats being the crazy cat lady animal or like kind of like the loner animal, it kind of became like, oh, these cats are like zany and they have personalities and they do weird things. And like they kind of became entertaining and then like their whole stigma changed. And then it was like, oh well, if a guy has a cat, like that's fine. He's not like weird. He just
Yeah, I've even heard things where like women are like, "Oh, we should save men who like cats. They're the best." Like, like then they'll have a video of their boyfriend like laying in bed with their cat,
right.
and they're just like, "Oh my god, it's the best. That's the cutest."
Mm-hmm.
It's just changed the way people think of cats, is specifically men with cats. I think that like changed the game. I think
Okay.
cats have always just they've been around, but it's like they weren't cool. I feel like
Yeah.
dogs were always cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would say that. I actually had a cat growing up. I ended up
I
being.
love learning things about them all.
I ended up
Yeah,
finding out that I
please.
was
Please tell us more.
like pretty at first when I was younger. I was like, we found out I was pretty allergic to it, so it had to be.
I want you guys to know we know nothing about Kamal.
Yeah.
I
I don't really even know like
he
what
had a pet growing up, and I
his
knew that he
full
was
name
allergic
is.
to cats. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Please keep
Like
going.
not. I'm feel like I'm really learning about a friend.
All right. Wait. Do you guys want to guess what the cat's name was?
I mean,
Mr.
I feel like
Softy.
you could pancake.
No.
Sprinkles.
Syrup.
What?
Sprinkles.
Syrup.
Sprinkles?
Sprinkles. Like the
Sprinkles? Nah.
Sam Jackson.
Can I get a letter?
Yeah, can we get a letter?
Black Panther.
Betty.
No.
Borat.
No. This is when I was younger. This is all these are before.
Barney.
No. All right. One more for both of you.
You named the cat?
I'm pretty sure I named the cat.
One more letter.
It was so long ago.
Yeah, if you give us one more letter, we'll give it away.
You.
Oh, Bubbles.
No.
Burnham.
Bernie.
No.
Damn it.
That's why he loves Bernie.
It was
Burple.
No.
Buddy? Buster.
No. It was
That's a good guess.
That was a good one, but it was actually Buffy.
Buffy.
The Vampire Slayer.
The Vampire Slayer.
Okay.
Wow.
But
what a golden nugget to learn about. Come on, he had a cat named Buffy.
Yeah.
That's gotta be one of your like password questions.
Actually, it should be, right? It should be, right? Good thing it's not, because otherwise Mike would have just blown up my spot.
Good thing it's not.
For our 19 subscribers, suck it. You can't hack into my email.
Suck it. Well, I just want to say, my rest in peace, Ginger Strachey. She passed away this week.
I think we did mention Ginger a couple times.
I think at one point we did, because we were talking about you. I told you guys my like worries about her, and you were like, I think this is just a reflection of yourself.
I remember that.
But yeah, rest in peace, Ginger. She died this week. I put her out.
We'll dedicate this episode to Gingy.
Yeah, please do.
Ginger's a fish, by the way, guys. So don't like you don't like you need to curtail and like meet the necessary amount of empathy required
for like
that.
We'll have the GoFundMe link in the bio.
Listen, I cried. I'll be
any donations that you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, make a donation that's meaningful to you.
Wait, so
it goes to the family. It's a good cause.
Did you bury Ginger, or did you?
You don't bury a fish.
Oh,
no,
so I fried her up and you added the
what?
You fried her up? Is that what you said?
With a nice white wine.
Oh. butter sauce. That would not be a very substantial meal. She was like an inch
You have
and a
to
half long.
you have to supplement it with some vegetables and
And rice.
Just a little
and rice
appetizer.
on a bed of
No.
rice. Ooh, it'd be her deathbed.
You know what
Right.
was funny
Wow,
when
that's
I
very
when I
nice.
realized when I
That's
realized
very
she was
dead.
when I realized she was dead, I like took her, I scooped her out with my hand into a container, and
Oh.
for a second, for a millisecond, I thought about eating her. No, I'm just kidding.
Just raw, you were like, all right.
I was
You're
like,
just like,
damn, this is some fresh ass
like I could go
sushi.
for sushi right now.
Actually, you could have maybe made that work with as
Yeah,
sushi.
you would get
I've
like
been
one good roll, like one good,
nah. He could
not a
have pulled
roll.
two rolls.
Yeah.
Nah,
Maybe.
if it was like
Can we not talk about eating? Well, like no,
I
technically, if you were to slice it in half and fillet
but
it,
but to go back to
you cut her on a bias.
but to go to just to follow up on Mike's point he made earlier about being a substitute for like children and like maybe even romantic partners. I do think that's an interesting thing because like this phenomenon now about like our generation having
Starting
less
everything later.
having less kids, getting married later or not at all.
Mhm.
And like I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a correlation there that like a an an uptick in like pet owners correlated with our generation being less comfortable or like committing less to children or
Animals.
marriage or committing to it later.
Listen, maybe there's a correlation between the relationships our parents have and our
The lack of
willingness to
animals.
engage. The lack of
Maybe,
animals.
maybe.
So what you're saying
Oh
is, if
man.
our parents had pets, they'd still be together.
Oh boy.
We're trying to fill a void,
Yeah.
Mom.
Oh man. If only we could. If only we could like bring back the conversation we had before about marriage.
I mean, we
We'll just,
can. We could. We
we'll
could.
just nah. We can't recapture that goal. We'll try again next week though.
Okay.
We'll figure something out.
Way to
All
tease
right.
the viewers. Yeah, that was some heat.
Yeah. It was some heat though. All right. So uh,
What was the other thing?
we next thing we wanted to talk about was
Oh, Howard's on the
well,
internet.
speaking of cats, kitty cats, scaredy cats, right? So
All right.
I'm working here. I'm working here. So I brought up this idea that inspired by this Facebook post of a tweet that I that my lady found. It was basically a
We
post
love those
about
official titles.
yeah about colorism, something to that effect. And at the end of the post, it was mentioning the idea that she had no interest in talking about it to like if you have anything to say forget about it or like I have nothing else to say yada yada and it reminded me of the conversation we had I don't know 20 podcasts
So,
ago
so three.
so three the J. Cole situation about people asking black women to educate them about racism and yada yada, and women feeling like it's not their job that they've already taken on too much of the burden of the social responsibilities in our
Just to
society.
quickly, I feel like we had said in that episode that we agree that it's not black women's responsibility to
Yeah,
educate them, right?
yeah. No, it just reminded me. It was like a similar thread about like
Okay.
because like it was a similar type of energy that like the post about the colorism was giving off, and I've
Mhm.
noticed this like on social media that this idea of making social statements or like making kind of antagonistic social comments,
Right.
basically talking, calling certain groups or people to task about
Mhm.
social norms and customs,
Right.
and then saying, but it's not my job to talk to you, or I don't want to talk, or leave me
Right.
alone after. And my interpretation about that is that it's a form of cowardice.
Hmm.
Um, I personally feel if you're going to, especially if you're going to put something on social media saying that, I don't know, think any social commentary take. I don't know
Right. So
that.
wait, quick question, because I think this kind of came up in a conversation that we were having in the group chat, because you had a Facebook status that you wanted to put out, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed like you were a little hesitant because of, I think, the conversation you thought it would cause
Mm,
to happen, and I asked you, um,
it's the
at least
one
I
I.
think
It's
I think
the
I
one
asked
I
you.
ended up putting up anyway.
Yeah, you did post it. Yeah.
Oh man, I wish I could.
So
Posted it.
my
Yeah.
question to you, and I don't remember exactly if I said it in the group chat, if I was thinking it, but I was like, okay, I think you have a right to put out whatever you want, whatever your thoughts are on Facebook or social media or whatever. But like, are you putting it out just to get the thought out there? Or are you putting it out there because you actually want to have a conversation about it? Because like if you've already made up your mind and your mind can't be changed, then there is kind of no point in having that conversation, because like you've already set yourself in the stance of like, I'm just saying this because I want to say it. It's on
Mm,
my mind, and it's my Facebook page or it's Twitter or whatever, and I want to say this because I can. But like my thing to you was like, if you put it out there, just know that people are going to respond to it because they have the ability to, and
yeah.
like, you know,
So I think what. All right. So I think I might have found it. It was the Kamala Harris thing.
yes,
Was it that one?
hmm
Yeah. All right. So for people who don't know, I basically, to summarize, made a comment,
bashing black women.
basically saying that like
Black women suck.
some of Kamala Harris's comments about the $15 minimum wage was a letdown, and that like did her being a pioneer in terms of being the first black woman in the that seat of the executive branch, did it make up for the fact that she was letting down the people and her constituents when it comes to uh progressive politics and policy? Like did her being like basically kind of calling out the I guess the identity politics of it, that like she was doing the same uh corporate democratic stuff, and did her blackness make it any better that she was still, I guess, backstabbing people? That's the language I used.
Hmm.
And you're right. Um in my
What?
it,
I'm sorry. What?
huh
What did you just say? You said I was right.
yeah.
I'm
this
soundbiting that.
is this is
Soundbiting
a
that. Every night before I go to sleep,
everybody
play that
take
clip.
note. Take
Does it
note.
make
I
would it
was
make you
right.
feel
I
would it
was
make you
right.
feel bad if I said if it balanced out by saying that's not often the case? Does
No,
that balance it out? Nope.
no,
Okay. But
no.
all right,
I
let's
got my victory for today. We can end this recording right now.
end the podcast.
He's like, I'm going to bed.
I'm going to bed. I'm calling the night before. It can't get any better than this.
Right. It's all
But
downhill from here.
but to follow up on what you were saying, whether my intention was just to say it or to start a dialogue, I still feel like putting it out there and then running away by saying, which I, yeah, because I consider putting it out there and not engaging, or like purposely saying that I'm not going to talk about it, or you can't change my mind, or matter of fact, not even change my mind. I'm not going to like defend it.
Right.
Is a bit of cowardice. Like you can be absolutely right, but but then if you're going to make a statement just to say it and on social media, then you're being a bit of a coward.
Mike, any thoughts before I go?
Yeah.
I don't know if I fully understand the argument here.
I
I don't want to throw a
I
monkey into the wrench
I
or a
wish
wrench into
I
the monkey,
it's
but
yeah, the topic is really vague because I can't find the actual post. I wish I could like show it
can you boil it down into a sentence so that
what the post was about, or my
no, your
He can't do that. I can.
my I guess I would say
because
actually I'm
I'll
curious
be
to hear what
honest, I've been following along. I just the words don't connect for me.
I'm curious what
What
Kavan's.
Kamal is asking essentially is, are you a coward if you make egregious, not conflicting, but or statements that would cause conflict, or those types of things. What are you a coward if you put those types of comments or commentary out and choose not
Not
to
to
engage
engage.
afterwards? So you're putting the
Mm,
information out there, but you're not defending it, you're not explaining yourself, and this is all within social media.
Yeah.
right.
It doesn't
I
even
don't
have to
know
be
if I
like
don't know if you're a
controversial.
coward.
It's just
Anything that
engage.
can incur conversation.
Yeah, that
Mm,
induces conversation. Yeah, and like not only failing to engage with the conversation that is sparked, but
avoiding it.
actively like m- promoting that you won't be engaging. That like either using language like it's not my place, or I don't want to hear about it, or end of the like yeah, like things like that.
Mm. I don't know if that automatically makes you a coward. Because coward's very specific. I think it makes you like nonsensical. Like why would you be the person that is going to like initially facilitate something and then be like, not my area of expertise. like
Like I said, I think it would be I
doesn't make
really
any
wish
sense.
I really
It
wish I
certainly
could send it.
weakens it,
Here's
but
my thing. When you go on Facebook, I'm not on Facebook much, but I believe when you put up a status, what's there before you click the little bar is what's on your mind, right? It's a prompt for what are you thinking about? What do you want to let everyone know is on your mind right now? And I think it is 100% within
just
your
took a
right.
really difficult shit.
Right. Like if that's what you wanted to put up there, and your grandma asks you, "You post this,"
Are you okay?
you could be like, "Listen, grandma, I don't want to talk about this right now. I just wanted,
I
to
just
know
want
that
this
I'm
to
not thinking too
this
much about it."
pass. I just want it to pass.
Right. Like I don't think you owe anyone anything, like on the internet, as far as like if you go to work and like you get and you get everyone's attention, and you're like you say some random like statement, you probably have to answer some questions, right?
Checks will not be mailed out on time for Christmas.
Right. Like you're gonna owe somebody some answers. But if you go on Facebook and you write, you know, Kamala Harris is a backstabber to the African American community, people are probably gonna be, that's gonna incite some conversation and some backlash probably. But you don't have to respond. Like it's your Facebook, and you can choose what you do or do not say on it. So like, is that cowardice? I see where you're coming from, but I don't think I would say that's the word.
I
It's just
wish I
like,
could. I wish I could. Yeah, it makes it a lot more clear if I maybe we'll need to save this when I could find maybe I need to do more research and find it. But like it was particularly like poignant in this case based on like the post and the way people were commenting in the conversation that was had afterwards because
right.
it was like a post about colorism and like kind of a post about uh privilege for like light skin versus dark skin
Mm.
privilege and blackness and discrimination within the black community in regards to colorism and stuff and based on skin tone and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it sounds like it like the context plays a heavy role, whereas
Yeah,
we're talking about more general things.
yeah, and it seems like yeah,
I'll give an
um,
example. I'll give an example. Matt Gates, a pedophile. Do I want to talk about it? No. Don't ask me about it. He's a
Wait, who's
pedophile.
Matt Gates?
he's a congressman from Florida
Some
who's been
shit. Some
accused.
shit. Some shithead from Florida.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's been accused of a lot of like I think it's like sex trafficking, some like underage, like
mm,
some statutory rape stuff.
I'll say it.
Um,
I'll say it for the
gotcha.
internet. He's
No,
a
but
piece of
like,
shit, and he's
yeah,
ugly.
but
but
like that's
like
one. That's also one of those things. And Kamal, you're kind of bringing it up, right? Like, so let's say it's something that the information is readily available on the internet. If a person is not defending their statement because it's something that's as simple and as like generally understood as Matt Gates is a pedophile. Like, are you a
well,
coward for not
well for
explaining
one,
yourself?
for one, alleged. I don't think any of
Oh
those.
yeah, this guy loves an alleged in there.
Yeah. We
Okay.
we
All right.
definitely need to.
Jeff,
Yeah.
what's Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein is a pedophile. Like, if I'm like Jeffrey Epstein is a pedophile, don't at me. Like, I'm not a coward. I'm not a
Don't
coward.
at me.
You
But
know?
like, all right, but yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It was, yeah, it's not like slavery is bad. I don't want to end of discussion. I'm not going to talk about this anymore. It's not one that. That's why I'm saying this conversation.
No, it
It
wouldn't
was
be slavery is bad. It would be
Slavery is
slavery
a
can be
choice.
debated whether it was bad or not.
No,
Don't at
slavery.
me.
I mean, we've lived through this, but slavery is a choice. Like, if you say that,
yeah,
and
and
Yeah,
don't
seriously,
provide a
they could have.
context,
They
it
could
doesn't
have.
end well.
end of
Yeah,
discussion. But like, yeah, so hopefully I can find it, and maybe we'll
We'll
bring it up
circle
on a
back.
future pass. Um,
we'll
I guess
circle back.
related to the race thing, it was just fun. I shared some like a quick video with you guys, and I just thought it was an interesting anecdote that like the first was it the first black head of uh
NAACP.
CEO.
the United Negro College Fund
Oh yeah,
was named.
was it the
It
United Negro
was
College Fund or the
Yeah,
NAACP?
no, United Negro College
nah.
Fund.
Oh, okay. You got
It
it.
was the
Yeah,
first like three
Well, no,
CEOs
no,
or
the
leaders.
first black one was the
no.
Oh
The
my bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like recently happened. It was recently announced that like the first one was named, and you think of that and you're like, wait, what the hell does that mean? Hold on, yeah, that the
Who's
all
who's
right.
leading all these black people?
His name was it Milton H. Jones Jr. was elected the chair of the UNCF board of directors, becoming the first African American to hold that position. So I guess this
was
kind
your
of
mind just blown?
it was. I was like,
Like,
wait.
what?
So I
After
guess
all this
it,
time?
but like in like the corporate culture that we exist, that
Mhm.
like philanthropy is always like has often been a tool of like a like social tool used by the rich.
Yeah.
It would make sense that like particularly like rich white men have often been heads or large portions of like all these social organizations. Um,
Mhm.
because I think the first one or like some of the first were like Rockefeller and things like that.
Yeah.
And like it's just interesting that like you have something like this, an entity that was I'm I'm just gonna I don't know the entire history of the United Negro College Fund was based on
Apparently, we know nothing about the United Nations.
apparently we don't was based on helping to fund and propel and to assist black higher education, but like the representation or that or in fact the leadership of that is not where you expect it to come from, right? That a lot of these have been like corporate executives from like different corporations and things like that.
Mhm.
Um, it's
I just
surprising.
want to say the only reference or frame of reference or like reference to it in media that I've ever had of the UN
Yeah.
CF is the what was that movie? Big
Us.
what?
Us.
No, was the movie with um what the movie with Adam Sandler where he's like rich.
Big Daddy.
No. The one where he's like he inherits a fortune from
Oh.
what's that called?
I don't know. It's not important.
No, it's not important, but everybody knows the movie where he inherits the fortune, and at the end he like donates it.
To the
To-
United Negro College Fund.
yeah, he like the guy, and it's a black guy, and he gets which is inaccurate.
Yeah.
Wasn't actually a black guy,
Adam Sandler
and he
probably
gets the
didn't know.
check for like $40 million or whatever, and he's like falls out of his chair. That's the only ever like reference I know.
Mr. Deeds.
Mr. Deeds, yes, where he stabs the fire poker through his foot.
I've always known of the United Negro College Fund, like just the name of it. But my like media reference or representation of it at least recently, was from the movie Us, where they show a United Negro College Fund video in the movie. Mike, have you seen that Jordan Peele's second movie, Us?
Yeah, I saw it, but I
Yeah.
didn't. I don't remember that part.
Yeah, so like the whole premise of like them joining hands around the world, wasn't that like what you call it? That there was like a commercial, and I forget the saying exactly. UNCF saying, what is it, Kamal? You're black.
The
A
hands
mind is a
is a
terrible thing to
terrible thing to
waste.
waste. Yeah.
Yeah, that like that's the United Negro College Fund like mantra, and so like that was like a big part of the plot of Us. That's the only thing I ever really know about it. But yeah, I was completely shocked when I
Okay.
found out it was a white man.
So just to because some research needs to be done because we can't we can't sound completely
This
stupid.
podcast is not a home for
Hold on,
solid information.
we need to be accurate about this. Okay, so
Since when?
the first chair of the board of directors, the first black chair of the board of directors was just named. The first black one was just named this past March.
Mhm.
There have been there have been plenty of black other presidents and CEOs in the past.
Uh,
So just to be um,
That's less funny.
that's
yeah,
is less interesting, I guess. Well, no, but still, but like the
it would
fact
have
that
been
like
funnier if it was like the first person to run it, like the president was a Nazi or like
no,
a
no,
previously a Nazi.
it was definitely founded by black activists. Um, but yeah, the first head of the board is board of directors, which is still like, I mean, maybe arguably more, just as significant, if not more, than the president and CEO.
Mhm.
Just as
Mm.
just as powerful. So I think it's interesting that like first one to achieve that level of status and like um has just happened now after it's been in existence for almost
40,
80 years.
even longer. Yeah.
So yeah. Um well I guess I think the final thing let's to segue into would be speaking of I guess surprising black folks. Let's talk about
Not your best.
KD. Not my best work. KD uh and Michael Rappaport drama.
Yeah. Actor, comedian, Michael
So
Rappaport.
so Kevin Durant was it 3 times? Is he 3 times? 2 time champion. 3 times. Two
Two?
time champion.
Two?
2 time NBA champion. 2 time Finals MVP. Kevin Durant, leader of the I don't know pseudo leader of the
Yeah.
Brooklyn Nets and white. Why I say white?
Tell me how you really feel.
Sorry. Actor, comedian, antagonist, social media
Analyst.
antagonist. Not really.
And puncher.
Um, New York stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Michael Rappaport have been in the news recently because uh, Michael Rappaport and Kevin Durant has a confrontation via social media through I guess private DMs in regards to, I guess, some commentary, some criticisms that Michael Rappaport was making, and Kevin Durant responding with a slew of uh, homophobic slurs, threats
Just
of
general nonsense.
threats of violence. Basically, a lot of
You a bitch.
basically a lot of keyboard warring, keyboard like social media tough guy
Mm-hmm.
uh, behavior. Um,
I want Mike's thoughts first.
yeah, Mike, what are your thoughts on this?
Um, I
Initial
mean,
thoughts.
obviously, I thought what he said was wrong. The video that you had sent with was it ESPN? Those
Yeah.
guys.
You sent a ESPN or FS1?
No, I think it was the ESPN one.
I recognize the guy from ESPN.
It was the Stephen A. Smith and Max one. I
I've
think.
seen so many of them. I don't even remember which one.
Because I remember your message. You were like, these guys are doing some mental gymnastics.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And I agree. When I watched that video, I was like, these guys are like hard body trying to get KD out of this situation and or to defend him, even to the point where they were like, "Oh, Michael Rappaport shouldn't have made this public." Which I don't think Michael Rappaport should have made those messages public. Like my question to him would be like, "Why did you do that?" But that is a separate issue, and like, yeah, I think you're a rich, famous basketball player. Why the hell are you sending messages like that?
One more time.
Like, one more time, what?
Why the hell?
What?
Why the hell? Why the hell? Why the hell are you sending messages like that? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, you have to preserve yourself, your brand. Like, and it's not, and they kept saying it in the video. They're like, oh, it's not, he's not, I know this wasn't his intention, but it is I hate how they say it, anti-gay, like homophobic. Like that's the word. Like it's not anti-gay. Like that's, nobody says it like that. But that's beside the point. I just like, yeah, I didn't understand it. I didn't understand why these two guys were fighting, because it seems like they were like friends, and then like all of a sudden Michael Rappaport's like, look at what KD said,
or acquaintances.
or
at
Kate
least
Well, they said of friends on ESPN, but I don't know what their what their real relationships
they
like.
had some relationship through, I'm guessing, Michael Rappaport commenting
Rich
on
famous
sports.
people talk to like rich famous people who like sports. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, like,
or to players.
Mm-hmm.
But
And,
yeah, I
and
thought it
he's been
was
critical.
weird.
He's been critical of KD. I mean, he's critical a lot of today's players. So yeah, I mean, I agree with what Mike's saying. I think that they went probably too easy on KD, because I think he looked horrible, and like just what he was saying, how he was saying it, no part of it is okay. Like it should not ever come to that, especially when you're at the space in life that you're in. Like it makes no sense for him to react that way. But Michael Rappaport, I mean, should he have released that?
Probably. Yeah, I think to spray it all over his Twitter, like I don't know. But at the same time, Katie says Chuck doesn't need you as security, you pale pasty cum guzzling bitch. I mean,
so
grow up, bro. Grow up.
Right.
You're a grown man.
Can I bring up my main issues with this?
Tell us that we're dumb. Go ahead.
Not that you're dumb. My first, there's layers to this. For one, we'll go to address the video. Like I said, the gymnastics they went through is incredible. I think Stephen A. Smith at some point was saying that like what he said wasn't anti-gay. He was going at Michael Rappaport. I was like, what? It's like, so you're saying like slurs aren't like offensive if they're directed at a person. That's what he was saying.
It's kind of like
that's what they were saying.
Who was it that called a white woman a nigger?
Huh?
What actor was it? It was like a crazy white actor.
It was either Mel Gibson or David Hasselhoff. One of those.
No. It was like
Charlie Sheen.
Manly man. Yeah, Charlie Sheen. I think he called a white woman a nigger on the phone. Is it not racist if it's not directed at a black person?
I don't know. but this is all right. So one of my biggest issues was like Max Kellerman also said that it was like it wasn't anti-gay. He was directing insults at Michael Rappaport. I was like, yeah, describing a sexual act like
implying
sexual
that it's demeaning.
Yeah, a like demeaning act is, and you're saying it's bad, is homophobic. Yeah.
What they were, I mean, I don't have to explain.
They were. But
my to say that he's not homophobic. He's just using homophobic language.
Yeah.
They never said that he's homophobic.
Yeah. But like my biggest issue is that they largely, especially basically their whole network, ESPN largely did back like backflips to excuse it. They were saying that basically making the biggest offense was Michael Rappaport
Hmm.
revealing it. And like you can go into a discussion about like the privacy of DMs or something like that, which is like he was the point was being made that like, oh, these are DMs, so like they're supposed to be private between the person. I was like, no, DMs is just a method of directly communicating with one person on a social media
Right.
platform.
Well,
There is
I
there's
don't think it's
like,
as much that it's the DM as much as it is the relationship between someone who.
but they
And I
don't
know you're
know.
saying he's not an analyst, but like Michael Rappaport does come on these sports shows. He does
Yeah,
have insider contact with athletes. So like there is
because he's
supposed to be some
famous.
level. He's
Because
famous,
he's
but I mean
but he's not a journalist. He's
he's
not a
not, but he
journalist.
operates similarly to
No,
Skip Bayless
he's
and
he's
any
an actor
other.
and commentator who's famous, and we're assuming, and because he's from New York, because he's a fan of the Knicks, because he's a loud, outspoken, accented New Yorker, he gets platformed.
Okay, but
And
he still plays that role as like
yeah, but
somewhat of an insider.
he's he's a it doesn't matter because he's famous. He's not fronting this idea.
I'm
That's
not
something else.
defending it.
That
I'm
was
just
something that
saying
was
that there is
also
like a
brought
bit of
up.
a code involved in
No,
it when like
no,
you have that if you get that
no,
level of if you have that it's
no,
implied that you're not
no.
going to share
One
what
thing.
is talked about in the locker room
Let's
and
be
like these
fair.
other things.
Let's be fair. If I hate because there's other things on different go, but let's be fair. If the roles were reversed and Michael Rappaport used any type of racially derogatory language toward him, there would be
Mhm.
no one would be saying, "Hey, Kevin Durant, why'd you reveal that these are these should be protected under what do you call it?
I mean, I think
Under
people
the
will say
sanctity,
that
the
he's.
unspoken rule of DMs, and that
I disagree.
that's not
I don't.
you're being naive."
I think
And
people would still no. I think people would still say that. I think people would probably applaud him for saying, "Oh, thank you for sharing this information. Like we need to know that this is that type of person." But I still think people would say because KD already gets that snake, like
no,
persona
they
tied to him.
criticize him
So
as soft,
if
but
he's leaking information, I think that doesn't
let's
help his
let's be
popularity.
real. Let's be real though. If Michael Rappaport called Kevin Durant a nigga, they would not be. The main thing would be
They
talking
would be
about.
Michael Rappaport,
They
yeah.
were talking about racism, continued racism,
But I'm just saying that I
the
think
plight that
leaking
black athletes
information is
still
not.
face. There'll be calls to ban him from speaking at all those different coming on those different shows. Because like I said, he's
Mhm.
not a journalist. He's a pop culture commentator. The same as like when they bring on Lil Wayne or Snoop Dogg
Right.
on those shows. He's not any different. He's famous. He's white. He's outspoken. He has a personality, and he a fan of the show, so they bring him on for entertainment and ratings. And because he says he's going to say maybe
Outlandish things.
outlandish or like bombastic things, so they want him for attention.
Bombastic. That's a great word.
So let's just let nip that on the butt.
That's a $2 word right there.
It is. I thank you. If the roles were reversed, nothing would be nobody would be focusing on the privacy of DMs.
Can I just
Um,
ask what was there any context between these two guys
I,
before this happened?
to me, it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
That's
I'm
my
just
He's still
biggest
asking
point.
the
curious. Like,
question.
I don't really know. You mean
I
like the
know.
relationship?
No, he's
I
saying
just
like
mean
what
like
spurred the
was there
both of
any
them on.
yeah, was there any point where these two guys came up in public conversation before? Like,
Rappaport. The reason that the conflict happened is that Charles Barkley, one of Kamal's favorite analysts, was giving KD a hard time during a post game interview. Um, and KD, in typical form, was like, not trying to play into Charles's questions that made him or his team look bad or something like that. And Michael Rappaport, as he does, criticized KD for like ducking the question or avoiding the question or not participating in the interview in the way that he felt KD should have. So that's how the argument started. Is Michael Rappaport says like just do the interview, like don't be this way. And Katie's like, I did do the interview, blah blah blah. Tell your boy Charles to ask better questions, blah blah blah. And then that's where the back and forth started.
Oh, that's where baby daddy Chuck comes in.
Yes.
Yeah, KD seemed deeply in his feelings with the NBA on TNT crew after the game. Damn it, he's super sensitive about everything. Don't do the interview. And then KD said, "You a bitch."
Yeah. So for one,
I kind of feel KD on that one. I want to be like, yo, stop tweeting about me, bro, and just text me. Like,
yeah, but calling him a bitch is fine to me. Like,
yeah, that's fine. It's
I
when
just
he gets into his other
it's
rants.
the homophobic stuff, it's the threats. I'm just
You
finding
cocks. All you do is cocksuck other men for attention.
yeah. I just
I
I'm just saying.
mean,
I just like if the roles were reversed and like you would because you wouldn't be surprised, right? Like if you found out that like Michael Rappaport like used some slurs and like made some like homophobic slurs toward Kevin Durant and stuff like that, it wouldn't really surprise you.
I don't think
But
Michael
you would,
Rappaport is completely innocent in this either. He said, "Go to Brownsville and help the people that need it." Goofball. What kind of shit is that?
Well, he's saying that instead of going back and forth with me, like use your power and influence and go help the people in Brownsville, Brooklyn, which is, he plays for the Brooklyn
he
Nets.
plays for Brooklyn, yeah.
He's saying go help one of these underserved communities and stop.
I'm sorry, but that's
Yeah.
but that
Yeah,
but that to me, like, that's completely out of context. That's completely out of context.
No, he's saying because he was talking about like he wants to meet up on like he gave like an address for some like random corner
11th.
Yeah, some random corner to meet up on so they can fight.
Like with 7 foot.
10 a.m. at Catch Steak on the corner.
But my point is that
I'll meet me at West 17 tomorrow at 10.
Yeah, it's really slimy that like the way they behaved, and it's blatant, it's super obvious that it was because he's famous and like I guess liked but still very powerful Kevin Durant. That they did this. Like I said, because if the roles were reversed, there would be nothing about the leaking of the DMs. Like when Donald Sterling, like because I think Stephen A. brought it up that when Donald Sterling got
that's a great point.
When Donald Sterling
no one was like, who leaked this information?
Yeah, nobody was saying that like, oh, let's disregard what he said. Let's focus on the fact that this woman falsely like illegally recorded him or whatever without his knowing and leaked it. Like,
yeah, but I would argue
private conversation. That's basically what they did here.
But I would argue that it's different.
In what way?
It's different in the fact that Michael Rappaport making KD look bad is different than a woman recording an older white man who was he like the manager or the owner of a basketball team? Yeah, it's different social statuses, and
they're both
KD is an African American in our society.
So you're saying
Donald Sterling is way richer than Kevin Durant. I'm pretty sure.
So I'm confused. You're like stating they're different because they're not the same person and they're not the same circumstances. But the underlying reasoning was that leaking private conversations out to the public was like the biggest concern.
I'm just saying, like,
group.
even
though the underlying information being displayed was bigotry and hate. Like what's different that Kevin Durant said from what Donald Sterling said?
What's different is that Donald Sterling has more power than Kevin Durant. That's essentially the difference.
Kevin Durant is still a very powerful person. So you're saying
that might be true, but that's irrelevant. I'm saying that Sterling has more power than him. That's what makes it different.
But it wasn't like he was enforcing his power upon Kevin Durant. There are two separate instances which two individuals were being bigoted, and one was their bigotry was so offensive.
I'm just saying comparing the two is not possible.
Why not? You're not giving me a reason.
If you were going to compare, it would be like comparing. It would have to be like LeBron. What?
I see both sides here because what Mike is saying is that what Donald Sterling. What Kamal is saying, first of all, the actions are similar. The actions are essentially the same.
The actions are exactly the
same. I'm not arguing that.
What Mike is saying is that why one is more maybe egregious than the other, or why one stands out more than the other, and why he's saying it can't be compared.
One is like if you compared like a principal of a school who had an offense against a teacher in the school, and one is against, and you would compare that situation to a teacher and a student or something. Like, it's just different. A principal has
I would even
more,
separate it more
No,
like a
that's
principal against
like a
student against like
superintendent or
another
something.
student or
this
something.
is
Oh
this
yeah,
is
like that.
this
Yeah.
is all weak. Like,
This is all
re-
conjecture.
this is all really flimsy. Like,
But no, but you
there-
have to acknowledge the difference that
what difference does it make?
What Donald Sterling was saying and doing actually had an impact on people's lives that worked under him within his
How
facility.
did it have any? Wait. How did he was
Just
first thing he was removed because of the history he had outside of basketball and his statements solely. And for one thing, Kevin Durant is a highly powerful person. He has
yeah, but
endorsed
he's
numerous
not like
endorsement deals.
changing
He
the
has
lives of
production production. Wait. So you're saying homophobia and like anti-racism only matter
No,
if
that you're diving into the details
yes,
of
because the
the
details matter.
they do matter, yes,
but they
but
don't
the
matter with
fact
Donald
is
Sterling
you
when
can't.
like
It's
he could have a
comparing two different
way bigger
things.
impact being a racist.
Wait,
They're
how did
both doing.
wait,
They're
wait, wait,
both
wait, wait,
doing
wait.
two
You think
bigoted things. We're not arguing that.
so? Wait, so you're saying yeah? So you're saying Kevin Durant being homophobic doesn't matter as much as Donald Sterling being racist? Is that what we're saying?
No.
Tech,
Then what are you saying?
in a way,
I'm
yes.
saying, well, that's
Okay,
not what I'm saying.
that's what Mike's saying.
I'm
Okay,
saying, okay, well, maybe you and Mike can have this conversation, then I'll just bow out. Go ahead, Mike.
so
Well, I don't that the way that you put it. No, that's not what I mean. I'm talking about we were talking about Michael Rappaport versus the woman that Michael Rappaport putting his tweets out there or his
yes,
messages
yes, it's the
versus
same
the
thing.
woman recording Donald Sterling.
Yes,
Yeah, but we're talking about the
it's two.
reaction. Why
It's
is the
two. Yeah,
reaction different for Donald
no,
Sterling
no, I get it.
compared to
Yeah,
KD?
yeah, and I'm saying yeah, because the circumstances are pretty much the same. It's two is individuals in two powerful individuals engaging in um was it discriminatory, bigoted language
What
in
I'm saying is though,
under the
but
under with another individual under the guise of privacy
yes,
and
and yeah, and
and the guise
you're
of privacy, and they were revealed. In one instance, because it was a rich white guy with a past of racism in the past, his the method in which the information was shared didn't matter at all. All it mattered was that he said these racist things. For the other instance, we don't know about
yeah, we don't
we
know
don't
if
know,
KD has said that before.
but I would not, but like many instances before, I would not be surprised.
I
And I
think
would
I
not be
think
surprised at all. And yet Kevin Durant using bigot language in the privates of a conversation with another guy, our main focus is on why did Michael Rappaport reveal this information as
no,
opposed to
I don't think that's the main I don't think that's the main
that
focus. I think that that's part of the situation,
people were
but
literally saying that using the slurs wasn't homophobic. He was just attacking someone who
right, which we
who
all
he
know
had a
that's
conflict
bullshit.
with.
You can attack somebody in a non-bigoted way. Like
That's and that,
that's
and that's
I'm
why I
saying,
go
but I'm
It's
saying
possible.
like
and that's why I went the
but
reverse
I'm
way. That if
saying that
Michael Rappaport
just
had used the slur against him, we wouldn't care that they were having a confrontation with one another. We'd be like, oh, Michael Rappaport's a racist, he's a bigot, he needs to be, and then we would go from there, trying to um, assume his entire character based on that, and trying to get him pulled from a number of job opportunities because of it.
He would
We
be Paul
wouldn't.
Pierce in a second.
So
I just
there is a
my thing is the difference between the two situations is
one's
the
white, one's black,
one is white, one is black.
and one is light.
KD's
Can we let him
comments
finish?
as
You had your time. Come on, just let him finish.
KD's comments are no
Are you
better.
watching Eight
Okay,
of the
I'm not comparing bigotry here because we all know that it's just as bad. But what I'm saying is Don Sterling's place in the hierarchy or the structure of racism, power control of white people over black people, those comments affect things differently than some messages that Katie sent to Michael Rappaport about, or not. I don't even want to say it like that because I'm not trying to make the distinguish. I'm not trying to distinguish between like, oh, one's a recording of his voice and one is Instagram messages. That makes no difference. I'm saying that Katie is a black basketball player in America,
a very popular.
Okay,
very
let this Mike
popular.
finish, and we've been on this for a long time. So let's just wrap it up here.
Okay.
I'm
Finish your
done.
statement because
I'm done. Yeah, I'm just saying that it's different. It's not substantially different, but it's different because Don Sterling is a basketball owner. It's different. He has different kinds of powers, different kinds of responsibilities. KD is also responsible and a big part of the public eye, and what he puts out there is important, but it's different. And it doesn't make him less responsible. It makes it different.
So let's do this.
Yeah.
To me, it's not different
We know,
enough.
come on.
It's not different enough. He's a highly powerful, influential, popular figure who employs people, whose word can be held.
Employs people.
Yes.
Who does he employ?
Just let him finish so we can be done.
What I'm saying is that the social influence that he has is within the same realm of proximity that they should be treated with the same amount of vitriol and reaction, and one wasn't. One was one was deemed acceptable or excused because of who he is, because of his popularity, because of his status. And I just think that's messed up. Especially the fact that it was done basically network around the whole network, and this will be the same network that will gladly make entire news segments about some type of racial or homophobic or any other type when it's the appropriate people involved.
I will say it should be the same. It should be the same.
That's my biggest problem.
In a perfect society, it should be the same punishment. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think it should be the same punishment.
Long story short, they didn't keep the same energy that they would have if it wasn't him.
Okay. Are we done?
We
got it off our chest? Yes. We done? Everybody's good now?
I'm okay.
Jesus Christ. Poorly Made Podcast, episode 29. I can't believe you people. Jesus.